chaos. This is Kaypacha, and I would just like to sit down this morning and have a little chat with you about Jupiter in Scorpio. Oh yeah. Jupiter's gone into Scorpio, and it's going to go all the way up to 23 degrees by March 8th. Then it's going to go retrograde back down to 13 degrees July 9th. And then it's going to go forward again, and it's not going to hit Sagittarius till next November. I think it's November 8th. So this will be particularly potent and powerful for you if you have planets, or your ascendant or midheaven, or nodes, or different planetary aspects, points between 13 and 23 degrees of Scorpio, because you'll be getting a triple pass of this Jupiter energy. So, and of course the house position, you want to look at the house position of where you have Scorpio. Where Jupiter is going to be moving through you is where the field of your life experience, okay, the stage where it's happening is the houses. And I'm going to talk about, Scorpio, obviously. We've all got Scorpio somewhere. We are all alchemically transforming ourselves, dying and resurrecting in some aspect, area, element of our life that we chose before we were born. That's what your astrological chart is. It's a blueprint of your soul intention for this lifetime. And before I get going, I just want to say once again, Jupiter's not doing anything to us. None of the planets do anything to us. They are simply timepieces tick-tocking away, okay, at patterns, intentions, evolutionary needs, and desires that were chosen before you were born for this particular lifetime. Your chart is like a script, and this is the play. So the better you know your script, the better you know your chart, the better you know your soul unconscious spiritual intention for this lifetime, the better performance you're gonna do. Oh my God. Okay, so good to get a chuckle in there before I get heavy. Because this is heavy. Let's face it. Scorpio is intense. We are already experiencing this intensity, and this intensity is going to do nothing but increase through 2018. So let's just look at why. Because that's what Scorpio is always wanting to know. That's what it's always asking, is why? Why? And when it comes to Jupiter, the why is the truth. The whole truth. Nothing but the truth. Metaphysical truth, cosmological truth, natural law. But I want to start with just the mythology, because all of astrology is based on mythology, and these are the basic fundamental archetypes, okay, that I call planets psycho-spiritual functions. So Jupiter is the psycho-spiritual function, okay, of the king. The king of Mount Olympus. But let's go even farther back before the Greeks. Let's go to Babylonian mythology, to Marduk. And there we have that Marduk slew the serpent, slew the snake. We're going to talk a lot about snake energy today, okay? And from slaying the snake, he created heaven and earth and brought order into chaos. Now this is powerful. And if there's one way that I would like to look at it, yeah, it is, death. Scorpio in the 8th house has to do with death and endings. And here we're dealing with the death and ending of a snake. Okay? And this, if you look through history, okay, when it comes to conquering, killing, even in an orgasm, which again, Scorpio has to do with orgasm, la petite death, okay, there is, I would say, this absorption, and Jupiter is the law of osmosis, absorbing, becoming, like taking on all of the powers of the snake into himself, and this giving him powers. And so Zeus is omnipotent, and he sat on the top of Mount Olympus. And then we can even look at Odin. Okay, Odin is another Zeus, Jupiter, Marduk figure, okay, of the great king, and he sat up in Asgard. And actually he had two ravens, on his shoulders. One was memory, and the other was thought. Okay, but there is this sense of this omnipotence, and also of this elevation of looking down on the world, looking down on planet Earth, looking down on the personal life from an objective witness, judge. We know Jupiter has to do with law, judges, and lawyers. Okay, this is this, it's just like this social order. And here's the difference between Jupiter and the sun. Yeah? Because the sun is also associated with Leo and the king, and even in Vedic astrology, Jupiter has to do with children and Leo and everything like that, but we don't need to go there today. But this idea of the sun is like the personal power, the personal creative energy, the personal organizing force of myself, of my being, in some ways even of my ego. It's my presence in my body. It's my power, personal power. This is the sun. But when we come into Jupiter, we come into more of this objective, higher, and we're going to just call it, it's a social planet. It's not a personal planet. Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. Personal planets, okay? Jupiter and Saturn, social planets, okay? Chiron through Pluto, transpersonal, okay? Collective, whatever, unconscious, transpersonal planets. So this is a social planet. So the judgments, the order has to do with your social function, what you're here in the world to do. It's not personal. If we really look at it, okay, the first four signs, Aries through Cancer, okay, is this instinctive unconscious. In Cancer is the family and the family conditioning and everything, and that gives birth to Leo, the individual sun, solar creative power, and that moves through Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio, and Scorpio is the end. It's the end of that personal power in preparation for Sagittarius, the birth of transpersonal consciousness, which is intuition. So this intuition is a way, it's beyond my personal gain or loss. It's beyond my, personal needs and desires. It's more of an unconscious, soul, intuitive need to do something, to be something, to create something for the children, for the future. Jupiter also has to do with this future and this expansion into a new future, a broader, wider future. So it's really concerned with the bigger, wider, broader picture. Yeah? So this is one thing we want to get with Jupiter. The other thing is the omnipotent. Zeus could bestow immortality. Okay, in fact he did, with Chiron. Okay, he raised Chiron, okay, up out of the underworld, and you know, threw him up, you know, as the you know, constellation of the Centaur. He raised Persephone. Okay, he brought her back. You know, for 6 months anyway, half the year. Okay, so he had this ability to raise people up. Okay, and he had many children. Okay, his children were all heroes and heroines. Okay, you know, particularly Athena, his favorite. Okay, just, you know, raise them to great heights and glory and bestow riches and abundance upon them. Or the opposite, yeah? You know, Asclepius, he struck with a thunderbolt of lightning because he was raising people from the dead. Okay, he banished his father Kronos, yeah, to Tartarus, right? You know, it's just like, and so he also had this tremendous power. Let's not forget, he was the ruler of Pisces before Neptune was discovered, of letting go, of removing, of humiliating, of lowering, of like absolutely wiping you out. And the thing was, and if you look at the mythology, in so many ways, no rhyme or reason. We're not dealing with Gemini, Mercury, third house, logical, rational, positive, negative, things that, justify his actions. He was omnipotent. He was beyond that. Just like the pharaohs in Egypt, or the kings of the old days, their word and their actions could not be questioned. He was just right, no matter what he did, yeah? And he could do whatever the hell he wanted, man. But he judged, and it was just about, and this is the thing about the judge in the courtroom. Yeah, when the judge sends somebody to prison or sets them free, okay, it's not because he likes them or doesn't like them. It's not personal, okay? Jupiter is not personal, okay? Is this person a danger to society, or can this person contribute something to society? So Jupiter, Sagittarius, judges our actions, our deeds, so much more about the impact that they have in the bigger, wider, broader, greater world. Could give a shit about whether you're a millionaire or a beggar, okay? It's what is your effect, okay? So this is where, it also has to do with this expansion of the intuition. The intuition is what? I know what I know without knowing how I know it. It is tapping into, it's opening the sixth sense, okay? It's opening more and more and more to the cosmological, the metaphysical laws that govern the physical laws. So it's outside, above, and beyond, okay, our logical, rational Mercury mind, okay, that says, oh, but that's not right. Oh, but, that person doesn't deserve that, or blah, 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 blah. There is something larger, something bigger, something greater, okay? And particularly in Scorpio, because Scorpio has to do, okay, with the evolutionary force. It's ruled by Pluto, yeah, which is the force of evolution in the soul. So this is another point. Okay, so there's this objectivity, this raising up, this king energy that brings an order that is kind of beyond our ego capacity to fully understand. Therefore, we need to develop that right brain intuitive sense and expand our consciousness, okay, in order to get what the hell is going on and why this is leaving my life or has to die or go, and why this, force needs to be confronted or faced, or, I mean, should I stay or should I go? Should I fight or flight? Okay, we have to move into this higher realms in order to get that. Second, okay, just this omnipotent intuitiveness. And then the father of many children. Let's also look at the sexual, the lover aspect of Jupiter. Because mythology, particularly the Greek stories of Zeus, okay, was that he went around, okay, impregnating, okay, mating with, okay, the most beautiful, powerful goddesses, whether they were mortal or immortal, whether they were willing or unwilling, okay, it was just, and again, it's not like he was this great lover, okay, and it's not this personal love and this, indulgence in the physical lusciousness of connection and emotional intertwining. He hardly knew them. He didn't get to know them. He didn't date them. He didn't go out with them, okay? It was like impregnate, okay, and be gone. And so we also look at this, and also in terms of like killing the snake, okay, and this orgasm is also that this Jupiter, this power to expand, it is basically, if we look at him not as a man, we have a tendency, okay, particularly through the patriarchy, okay, to project human-like qualities onto the gods and goddesses. And this is mistaken, okay? If we look at it as a psycho-spiritual function, Jupiter is the function of expansion of consciousness through both creating offspring, okay, creating and giving more of its abundance and prosperity and greatness into the world. And just like killing the snake or the conqueror conquering, other countries, or banks taking over other banks, takeovers, whether they're, hostile or not. It's, guess what? Winner takes all. And the conquering absorbs. So Jupiter is also this osmosis. So him mating with the feminine. This is the masculine, but also the feminine. It's like the feminine receives from Jupiter, from Zeus, okay, and gives birth to heroes. So, it's like she is elevated. She becomes the mother of powerful offspring, okay, that, are, semi-gods, yeah, super powerful, okay, in a way, a certain blessing. And Zeus also absorbs, okay, the power of the feminine, the energy, the knowing. And what is the power of the feminine? This is particularly in Scorpio, okay? So now we get into the nature, okay, of the serpent energy, the nature of the snake, and particularly the snake venom. Because the snake venom was taken in ancient matriarchal times, yes, and it's like a hallucinogenic. It puts you into a trance. You go into a trance, similar to a shamanic, yeah, a shaman goes into a trance in order to go into the underworld. And so now we move into Scorpio and this journey into the underworld, and Jupiter taking us deep down into our own personal hell, our own personal underworld. For what? For the expansion of our consciousness, like we talked about, for the development of our intuition. Okay, this is a year where it's just like, wow, it's like everybody is going to be psychic. We are all opening up, okay, to deeper and deeper truths, realities, awarenesses, okay, as a result of the necessity through possibly emotional crisis. Okay, it's painful in the underworld. But this snake energy, we look at this snake energy, it's the kundalini energy, it's the venom, it's the shamanic journey, it's the ayahuasca journey. It takes us out of this world and it puts us, okay, into that what? That elevated place of Jupiter on the top of the mountain. It's like this impersonal, so we can observe. And here's the thing, as any psychoanalyst will tell you, you know, it is the discovery and the recognition and the identification of the demon within that actually brings consciousness to the demon, and the demon is healed and the patient is saved because the complex has been identified, so the knot can be unwoven. So this healing process, this journey into the underworld, we're all going on a personal and also a collective journey into the underworld, okay, this year of 2018. And it is to face our demons. And what are our demons? Oh my goodness. I need to go back to another aspect of Jupiter. We know that our demons have to do with shadows, and I define our shadows as limiting core beliefs that we have about ourselves, that we hide, deny, avoid, and are ashamed of. And where do these come from? They come from family, they come from institutions, they come from religions, they come from, you know, all types of socio-cultural conditioning that has been overlaid upon us, and therefore we suppress. And what we suppress, okay, of our instinctive, intuitive needs and desires on a soul level in order to evolve, this becomes the shadow element. This becomes the demon. And this is part, I mean, this is so profound, all this energy of Jupiter in Scorpio and the serpent energy and the underground energy and the healing energy that is possible this year, and this discovery of deep, powerful inner truths that has to do with, again, confronting and facing limitations, social limitations, personal limitations, family limitations, financial limitations. Jupiter wants to confront in order to expand any limiting core beliefs that we have about ourselves that are not true for us, but have been true for society, for mom and dad, for our partners, or our, you know, just whatever types of beliefs we have. Jupiter wants to blow the lid off. So this also has to do with breaking free and breaking out, particularly of family and the past and our childhood conditioning. It's the second water sign. Water signs have to do with endings. They also have to do with emotional bonding and connection. In Cancer, which has to do with family and mom and dad and early childhood, okay, there is just this powerful bonding. And from Leo to Scorpio, the self needs that, or grows through that, or grows into that. And then in Scorpio, there is the cutting of the cord, okay, of the past. It's the death of the old conditioning. And with Jupiter, the death of old beliefs. And we can see this in the lives of Scorpio people, particularly Sun, Moon, Ascendant, you know, Venus, Mars, the personal planets in Scorpio. They have, yeah, challenges with mom and dad. okay, this, the family stuff, okay, is powerful and big here. And what is that? Because Scorpio has to do with this growing up and maturing, okay, into becoming and entering intimate partnership and relationship as an equal. So these people, a lot of times, they'll fall in love, or they'll bring home partners or mates, and mom and dad will reject them. Mom and dad will not want to let go of their little child, their little boy, their little girl. They don't want them to grow up. They want them to stay little maidens, okay, or little dudes. But the Scorpio is, wow, I need to cut these cords, okay, in order to really enter fully my sexuality, my puberty, okay, and enter into partnership and relationship as a powerful entity, not needing a mother, not needing a father, not needing this this caretaking or codependent kinds of relationships and partnerships. So it is this whole process of identifying, and some of these demons that we have to deal with here this year, okay, are going to be like our childish emotional needs and unconscious behavior patterns that we carry into our partnerships and relationships, where we're kind of relying, okay, on our sexual intimate partner to be our mother or to be our father, okay, and it's like, whoa, until each and every one of us becomes our own mother and father, okay, we can't really do Venus and Mars, partnership and relationship, and scorpionic, alchemical, union, okay, fully, wholly, and completely. So this is the death. This is like the snake crawling out of that skin of the past. And it's scary. It's uncomfortable. It's our roots. Okay, that's fourth house is the bottom of the chart. It's our foundation. It's fundamental. Pluto, Saturn, and Uranus rule the root chakra. And this is fear. So we will all be facing and confronting and dealing with primal fears. And these fears have their fundamental root in the fear of death. And that fear of death is a fear of letting go of the known, of the familiar, of safety and security, and going on this journey, the hero or the heroine's journey into the underworld, and surrendering, giving up some of our most cherished beliefs, which have led to some of our most intimate relationships and some of our greatest attachments. Yeah, both Cancer and Scorpio has these clampers. And here is the downside of Jupiter in Scorpio, the downside, the immature, the premature, the unevolved expression of this Jupiter, okay, is to try to be in this position of judgment, but not from the elevated state, but from the personal state. As Jeffrey Green, my teacher, says, there is power in what I know and can control, and a sense of powerlessness in what I don't know and I can't control. And when it comes to Scorpio, there is this confrontation. And this journey into the underworld is going into the unknown. It's going into the dark. It's going into our greatest fears. So one thing that Jupiter can do is, the more people that believe what I believe, the more right I am. And the lower expression of this Jupiter is, I am right and you are wrong. We are right and they are wrong. And we get into this whole battle and confrontation about who's right and who's wrong. And so here we need to go to a deeper, deeper level, okay, to understand the nature of truth, of metaphysical laws, of cosmological laws, of our intuitive understanding of natural law. And what is this about? Okay, and this might push a few buttons, but this is right out of evolutionary astrology and Jeffrey Wolf Green, okay? It's just like, here we go. The soul is unconscious. It's Pluto in the chart, and it has, okay, unconscious soul desires. These unconscious soul desires are the force of evolution in this life. And those desires are transmuted into Mars, conscious desires. So we have unconscious, subconscious, like id, impulses, okay, you know, desires. But then we have conscious desires. And these conscious desires lead to a couple of things. One thing they lead to is needs. Okay, I desire this, I need it, and then these needs lead to choices and actions to fulfill those needs. Yeah, so this is, so that, you know, that's, you know, and these needs, of course, we could look at it, the needs as moon. Okay, so we have Pluto leading to Mars, Mars, you know, breaking off into the moon, and then also what? Over to Venus, values, okay? Because my desires lead to what I value as being more important or less important than other things. Yeah, I desire this, so it's more important than that. You know, doing. When we connect, okay, our desires with what we value, these lead to our beliefs, our philosophical orientations, okay, that justify, okay, our choices and our actions. So I am monogamous, okay, because I have this particular set of desires, values, and needs. I am a Republican because I have this particular set. I am an atheist because I have this particular set. Okay, you know, it's just like all of our beliefs, the way we orient, okay, ourselves and our lives. Okay, you know, I'm Catholic. Okay, you know, I'm a capitalist. Okay, I'm a communist. We create all of these. Okay, all of our philosophical, you know, understandings and belief systems that justify our actions and our choices are a result of our basic evolutionary desires and needs that lead to our values. You get it? As we evolve, and Jupiter through Scorpio evolves, we expand, these desires change. Our values change. Our needs change. We're not the same when we're 40 that we were when we were born. We don't need the same things. We don't desire the same things. And we start to fulfill more and more of a social function and more of a social role. This becomes, you know, more important than my personal needs. And we move out of this moon Venus into Jupiter, Saturn, and beyond. Chiron, we become healers, teachers, gurus. So this is just like this evolutionary process, okay, of changing needs and desires and also understanding. And this is the big key. Guess what? Everybody has a unique birth chart. Everybody has a unique set of past lives. Everybody has a unique set of soul intentions for this lifetime. So they are, according to your evolutionary needs and desires of a subconscious, unconscious nature, you will orient yourself to different belief systems. And you'll become a Taoist, okay? You know, you'll become a, socialist. You'll become polyamorous because your particular soul need and desire in order to evolve this lifetime is going to lead you from, and you may change from being a communist to a capitalist. You may change from being, as you evolve and become and take on more and more of your destiny, of your dharma, and you expand. Okay, you're going to change these realities. And part of it, okay, and like I said, I'm getting back to this other thing, okay, is withholding judgment. it's like once we kind of see that, oh my God, okay, you know, and I hate to say it, you know, but okay, Trump has a set of beliefs, okay, you know, that, you know, he's using to evolve this lifetime, okay, and, you know, so-and-so, you know, Jack the Ripper has that set of beliefs, okay, and Hitler had that set of beliefs, and, you know, Gandhi had that set of beliefs. Everybody has these, right? I mean, we have all these religions, we have all these orientations, we have all these different approaches to, particularly Scorpio, money and sexuality and power. These are the three items: money, sexuality, and power. Power, also intellectual power, and also fame and fortune is an expression of power. Sexual power, you know, charisma, financial power. But Scorpio is all about this power and powerlessness, and evolving and osmosing like Jupiter, wanting to become more and more powerful. And this can even be with mating and being with and absorbing, okay, financially, sexually, whatever. It's just like, you know, it's like, well, I'm going to evolve and grow and blah, 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 you know. And is it ego? Is it the sun? Is it my personal gratification and my personal power? Or, you know, or is it that I am also giving something, yeah, to society, that I am also learning something, because I am osmosing through exchanging sexual fluids. We merge and we absorb, okay, that other person's, you know, karma, dharma, knowledge, understanding, wisdom, also possibly problems. Okay, yeah, okay, but there is this exchange and this absorption, so there's more and more and more and more. And I borrow money from here, and I do this business deal and that business deal, and the more business partners I have, the more money I have, and the more. So there can be this whole kind of thing going on, you know, around power in all its different manifestations and all of its different forms. But if we sit in judgment and we hold on to, and this is the challenge of Scorpio, it's a fixed sign. I don't want to let go of that belief. And maybe it was my mother's, or maybe it was my childhood religion, or, you know, maybe it was my social conditioning, you know, from Saudi Arabia to China to Europe to South America. I mean, we have all these different social conditionings and values. But this is a time to expand outside of those and really tap into our own unique personal destiny, so that we can fulfill a greater social role and create the frickin' new paradigm. We got this age of Aquarius coming in here. So this is the time, and it's so, you know, it's really something to have Ophiuchus, the you know, the 13th constellation, right? You know, I mean, it's right after, it's in between Scorpio, okay, and Sagittarius, and it is a giant wrestling with a serpent. I mean, how appropriate is that? Yes? So this is this going in to the underworld and identifying our demons, our outworn limiting beliefs that are holding us back, that are creating fears. And this can be a year where these fears are confronted, where we confront our limiting beliefs, where we confront our demons, where we confront our shadows, and where other people, okay, in society and banks and institutions, I mean, you know, everything. This is so appropriate with Saturn, you know, into Capricorn, and then Uranus moving into Taurus, Earth and Earth. We're going to get huge financial shakeups, yeah. You know, in 2018. And I was just looking into cryptocurrency yesterday. You know, I can really see our whole banking, you know, realities shifting when this cryptocurrency just babooms. Yeah, but anyway, that's off topic, because I'm on soul spiritual astrology, and you can go for mundane astrology someplace else. This personal journey into the underworld, okay, is to more clearly recognize and identify our personal shadows, which are limiting beliefs that we have, and just through the process of recognition, discovery, the healing begins. The unconscious becomes conscious. I'm no longer doing that out of habit, okay? I'm doing that out of choice. So this is a very, very powerful period, okay, in our lives. And how does this look, okay, for you? How does this look, okay, in your chart? What planets, okay, is this Jupiter in Scorpio aspecting? What houses is Jupiter in Scorpio transiting for you? Okay, this can just be a time where, and we really want to understand. I've also always said Scorpio is the school of hard knocks. It is a water sign. It is emotional and it is feeling, and fixed water is like a well. It's very deep. And there is just kind of this bottomless pit, this bottomless well, where you feel like you've been dropped down a hole, okay? You're in the wormhole. I gotta stop this freaking curtain, man. Dropped down the wormhole. There's this one GIF, that I had. I put on one Pele report. It's actually supposed to move, but it didn't move when I loaded it into the movie maker. But it's this like the black hole at the center of the galaxy. The black hole just draws everything in, sucks it all in, and it goes into antimatter or anti-space or whatever. And so there is this releasing process, letting go of old, outworn beliefs around basically the taboo. The taboo. Things that we are afraid to talk about. You don't ask people how much they paid for this and that, unless you're kind of a close friend, right? You don't ask people about, their sexual performance. You don't ask people about, their mom and dad's, relation. I mean, there's just taboo topics and subjects. Some of these can also have to do with religion and beliefs, where and politics. It's like, what? If we get into politics, like I'm friends with this person, but we have totally different, but this is a time, and this will just be a year, okay? And it will be particularly more intense the more you hold on, the more rigid beliefs that you hold, the more judgmental that you are, the less flexible, and you're afraid of going outside those limits. Jupiter is the quest, and the quest involves the hero or the heroine leaving home. Yeah, going traveling, going abroad, not knowing the language, not knowing how to get around, not knowing the currency exchange rates, not knowing, going into the unknown, leaving the, familiar, secure home, bed, family, and friends, and going off. And this is like going off on that quest, okay, into the deepest, darkest dungeons and recesses, okay, of your greatest fears and what you have attached and held on to in your root chakra, okay? This is just like a raising of the kundalini, a raising of the snake force. And this is the beautiful part. The hero that founded Delhi had to slay the snake. And he slayed the snake. The blood of the snake went into the land. And out of that came the oracles of Delphi. Not Delhi. I was just in freaking India, man. Anyway, Delphi. I'm talking about Greece, not India right now. Have to figure out where I am on this planet. From the blood of the serpent, the slain serpent, came the pythoness. It was a python, and the pythoness was the oracle that gave the answers to all of the kings that came with their questions for the oracle. This is the awakening. I think intuition is it's not big enough of a word to describe the penetration into the mysteries behind the veil. This is what Scorpio is about. Yes, the energy, the forces of life and death, the mystery behind, beneath, okay, hidden beneath the surface of ordinary life, of ordinary daily reality. And so you will be confronting, and you will be confronted with, okay, powerful emotions, powerful egos, powerful other people, okay, that will confront your beliefs. And in this confrontation, the more rigid you hold and the less you listen, the less you, I can see that point of view and that point of view and that point of view, and seeing all of these points of views brings me more into the fourth dimension, more into the fifth dimension of non-judgment. It opens me up from my, into my third eye. We know beneath the sixth chakra is duality. Two, all the way down. And above that is one. I see with the single eye. So this is an opportunity, okay, to really elevate our consciousness outside the realm of just these physical senses and observe ourselves, our actions, and also wrestle with our snakes. And what could we also look at that snake as, or look at these, these demons as what? Our personal desires, right? The little child in us, okay, that wants more money, okay, that wants more touch, okay, that wants more, security and a bigger house and a bigger audience and more friends on Facebook or whatever. It's like, there's this personal, all right? Yeah. And so this is also where the judgment of Zeus comes in, where Zeus and Jupiter in Scorpio is going to make some people filthy fucking rich and is going to take every cent from somebody else. And we're going to see it happening. It's going to happen to our friends, to our family, to ourselves. Some of us are just going to be, woo! Lifted and elevated beyond our wildest beliefs. And abundance and prosperity and blah, 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 right? Yeah. And others, okay, are going to be like, look, Jupiter is more, Scorpio is loss, betrayal, abandonment, like, boom, boom. And we say this force of evolution, yeah, is the force of letting go of immature or old beliefs and desires and needs in order to fulfill a greater destiny. So it's like you will experience more loss the more you hold on to situations, conditions, beliefs, realities, okay, that are not serving your evolutionary growth. So it can be really hard, okay, to believe or trust. But it's really, this is a powerful time of believing and trusting that if somebody leaves your life, if some business leaves your life, if some house or family member or somebody dies or there's loss, abandonment, this is your unconscious soul intention saying that you don't need that condition. You're not learning, growing, evolving, or able to contribute, to give, to create, to procreate as much in the greater, wider, bigger world, okay? If that, so, it's just like, Jupiter will take away limiting conditions as part of the process of expansion. And so, wow. It's hard. It can be really difficult if you don't believe, if you don't trust, if you don't understand or grasp Okay, the workings of the unconscious, the workings of the metaphysical and cosmological laws. I mean, this is just like a shot in the arm. Okay, it's like you've got to expand your consciousness. You've got to do some yoga, or do some meditation or breath work or medicine, or or whatever. Some use orgasms. Some it's like you have to even gamble with your money. It's just like you have to trust. You have to go beyond the known and the familiar in order to and break free. And it is super freaking scary. I thought I needed that. Oh man, I can't live without you. I can't live without this money. How am I going to make it without this job? How can my partner died, or my father died, or my uncle that supported me died. I mean, it's like, how am I? There is this whole I'm terrified. Okay, that I'm not big enough, powerful enough, mature enough, old enough, wise enough, smart enough. This is the Taurus polarity. Okay, the Taurus is the polarity of Scorpio. It's throwing each and every one of us back onto it. And Uranus has gone through Aries now, awakening new capacities, and it's going to move into Taurus with sudden, unexpected, growth and expansion into new capacities, into new developments and resources. We are, each and every single one of us, more resourceful than we can imagine. And sometimes it's not until you've got to create something that you sit on your laurels, and just sip your cup of tea, because you don't have to do anything else. Guess what, man? You're not here to sit on your laurels and sip cups of tea. You're here to bring in the age of Aquarius. Yeah. Particularly if you're listening to this video. I mean, we don't need to get into that. There are no accidents, okay? And maybe it's not everybody, and you can sit here and go, oh, Kaypacha said that everybody's facing this, that, and the other thing, but it sure doesn't look like it, it sure looks like when I, listen to the news or follow this or that, that's a bit, but particularly, that gets with the evolutionary stages of the consensus, the individuated, the spiritual stages of evolution. It's particularly the light workers, the light workers that are going to have a hard time going into the dark and confronting their animal nature, confronting their basic need to survive. Yeah, and maybe you're not making any money doing your spiritual stuff, and so you've got to come up with something deeper, something more powerful, something that people are really interested in, or that really turns people on, or that really inspires people, or that really rocks their reality, okay? In order for you to be wanted, in order for you to be valued, in order for you to make a bigger, greater living, you've got to really, address the deeper issues that people are dealing with now. There's no more just making money doing the superficial stuff. It's like, oh my God, it's time for surgery, man. I think of Brain Salad Surgery. It's my old Emerson, Lake and Palmer album. It was one of my favorites, but I don't want to date myself. So anyway, these are just some points that I thought I wanted to bring forward to consider, as far as taking Jupiter through the houses, taking Jupiter through, the different planets. Maybe that's that's another video. Let me see how much time I've used up of your life so far today. Yeah, that's probably enough for now. Maybe I'll do a part 2, I don't know, but I hope this helps you get through your process. Yeah. So many blessings. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.